Amazon is laying off 14,000 people and a total of 30,000 people within the next couple of weeks, but they just announced that they're doing their first round of layoffs beginning now. And it is crazy, guys. This comes after their announcement just a few weeks ago where they said that they were going to be shutting off 600,000 total workers in an effort to improve their automation and AI as much as they can. It's very crazy. The job market is falling apart, but this makes it even worse. Amazon is one of the largest employers in the United States alone. Of course, behind Walmart. I don't know if they're the top two or whatever cases, but yes, they employ a lot of workers. It's crazy to see how this is unfolding as the job market is getting worse. But this first round of layoff that they said, the Amazon said it would cut 14,000 corporate staffers this year in a mass layoff aimed at readying the company for wide adoption of AI and technology. Now, 14,000 people is insane. I don't think we've seen an amount of layoff in one time like this since I don't know when. Now, we've seen global layoffs that big, right? Like Accenture just did a mass layoff, pretty much the same size, but 14,000 people is especially at just one company. I can't even make this up. But anyways, the company noted that it would be hiring in key areas and would prioritize those who lost their jobs for those roles. But the company also said it wasn't done with layoffs. So they're going to be laying off more people this year, as it comes on. But they did specifically, to summarize that, is instead of, bringing in outside sources of people, instead of, trying to, bring in and rehire for certain things, they're going to be looking at the people who are set to be laid off and considering them for new roles. Maybe there's some new role that may be, coming afloat for, certain positions. And it's crazy, but at the end of the day, that is better than laying them off at the same time. And they also said, we expect to continue hiring in key strategic areas while also finding additional places we can remove layers. So all those extra roles where you see, especially during the COVID time, during the pandemic time, where y'all remember tech was booming. You had software engineers, you had all these IT specialists, cybersecurity. Like, that was the biggest thing to ever happen to this entire field. And you had companies beefing up because they had to get prepared for all this new technology and all this new, systems that were, coming in place. And they have to ultimately hire and upscale their entire business. And now they're forced to be put in position now to where they have to downsize. So you said they said they can remove layers, increase ownership, and realize efficiency gains. All right, that's coming from the senior vice president at Amazon. Now, listen, on Monday, they just announced that they were going to be laying off 30,000 people. Now, I thought this layoff was on top of the 30,000 that they would be laid off, and I could be completely wrong. But from the research that I've done, from the digging that I've done as well, this is a part of the 30,000 that they just announced that they would be doing. All right, so Amazon needs to operate more leanly to achieve CEO Andy Jassy's vision of operating like world's biggest startup. Jassy wants the company to remain nimble so it can adapt and change quickly as AI upends the technology sector. Now, let's sit right there for a minute, guys. As I read this and as I think about this, like, even deeper, it's crazy. And it makes me think that, like, they don't want anybody working there. They literally want this whole entire company. They want all of these positions gone. And they only want AI and automation to run the entire company. And by all means, that is probably very, very profitable for the company. They're probably going to make so much money, so much, profit as a whole by going into this change. But if you think about it, if you lay off, let's just say they get rid of 50% of the company, which is probably roughly around 500,000 people. If they get rid of 500,000 people, do you know that it's 500,000 workers and 500,000 people who are going to be without money to spend and stimulate the economy? Do you know that in turn that actually is going to decrease maybe profit levels, or their profit will be fine. That'll decrease the amount of revenue that they do, or that will also probably decrease quality, which is very important when we talk about companies like this. Quality may decrease. I could be wrong. Maybe automation is so good now to the point. I thought that automation, we weren't at the point where, AI and automation could take over entire jobs, but I guess I was completely wrong. When we're laying off 30,000, 600,000 corporate workers, it's crazy. But as we dig a little bit further, they also said what we need to remember is that the world is changing quickly. This generation of AI is the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet. All right. And I get that. And it's enabling companies to innovate much faster than ever before. And I get that, right? I understand how fast AI, and we didn't nobody expected AI to come this fast. They also said we're convicted that we need to be organized more leanly with fewer layers and more ownership to move as quickly as possible for our customers and business. And that completely 100%, right? If you, the more leaner, the less amount of workers, I completely get it. And now don't get me wrong, I'm not a business owner. I never worked at Amazon. I'm not like associated with Amazon, and I never even owned a business like Amazon. So I can imagine, the amount of decision making that it takes. And listen, the company makes a lot of money. We're talking billions on end every single year, billions of dollars that the company is making, every single year. But as a whole, you just hate to see this amount of layoffs, guys. So Amazon has over 350,000 corporate employees, according to a 2024 survey, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And 600,000, which is what they specifically said they were going to be laying off. And all those layoffs aren't specifically corporate roles. They're just saying they're laying off 600,000 workers. All right. They also said layoffs will begin on Tuesday. So these 14,000 people who are going to be without a job, that is beginning on Tuesday. It's crazy how fast they are announcing this, and they are flipping this. This is, as a matter of fact, that is today. So they're going to be without a job. So pretty much they told them that your last day is today. Today is your last day. 14,000 people are told today is your last day. All right. Most employees will be given 90 days to look for new roles internally, while people that can't get new jobs at Amazon will be given severance pay, which is a plus, and additional benefits. I'm very curious as to what those additional benefits are. Of course, it just depends on the situation. Everybody's role is different. Everybody's package is different. But let's dig a little bit deeper. They said as we roll out more generative AI and agents, it should change the way our work is done. We will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done. And I get it. AI can't do everything. However, AI can take away so many junior engineers, software engineers, your entry level roles where maybe you're just coding, or maybe you're just, putting numbers together, or maybe you're a data analyst, or maybe you're just in charge of something very minuscule that literally AI can do that in a minute. Now, I'm not saying that AI can create, as a matter of fact, AI actually can create entire programs. I'm not saying that it is going to be great, and you're still going to need a person to go back and debug and put certain things in place and, make sure that everything is customer ready. But at the same time, AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting when we talk about a lot of the workload that is being done in a lot of these roles. AI just won't affect everything at Amazon. AI will change how we all work and live, including billions of AI agents across every company in every imaginable field. Now, they're trying to be the test dummy. And, I'm not all for it. By all means, that's not my style of business or leadership. I'm not trying to be the test dummy. I'm going to let somebody else be the test dummy. But basically, they put themselves on the limb. And I don't know how beneficial it's going to be. They also said many of these agents have yet to be built, but make no mistake, they are coming, and they are coming fast. I don't get it. And lastly, we're going to end it right here. It says it's not the first round of massive layoffs for the tech giant. In 2023, the company cuts 27,000 workers in its human resources department. Now, 27,000 is a huge amount, huge number. But at the same time, when we talk about 27,000 to 30,000 to 600,000, the company this year just said, hey, hold my beer. It's crazy, and I don't get it. And I don't think anybody, any company, even as we get deeper into how bad the job market is already, can you imagine how much worse it's going to be as we get deeper into these layoffs? it seems like they don't want anybody to work. It seems like they just want AI to take over all these jobs. It seems like the goal isn't to have Americans stimulate the economy. It seems like the goal is it's no longer for people to be in corporate America and stay with companies forever. Those days are over. Oh my God, y'all. But it's sad, guys. And when we talk about revenue, Amazon last year, they reported that they made $600 billion. $600 billion. I just don't get it. But we're here now, and this is what the job market is doing. These layoffs have started, and it's only going to get worse from here. And I feel so bad for all the people who are working at this company right now. I feel bad for all the families that are going to be affected by this. I feel bad for all the people who are, just seriously trying to make it within corporate America, who are just trying to supply their families. Because you also got the federal workers who are dealing with sort of the same situation. Some of them are furloughed, some of them are just not getting paid, and some of them are going to end up getting laid off as a result of this entire shutdown. But that's neither here nor there. This job market is ridiculous, and I've told you guys many times to prepare yourself. I'm not fear monger. I'm just telling you the news and telling you exactly what is happening, and it's constantly getting worse every single day. It's crazy, but I got more videos. We'll be covering this topic every single day, or we'll be following every single day, maybe a video a week or something like that. I'll keep you guys an update. If you want to stay in the loop, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button as well for more great content like this. I will see you next video. We out. Let's go.